This is Daf Zayin. So we start a line down because we finished off the line yesterday. According to the view of Chamim, Rav Chanan b'shem Rav. Rav Chanan said in the name of Rav, a mavoi shehu pakais me'arba tvachim. So according to the mavoi, that is less than 4 tvachim, and it's our klum. It does not require anything in order to finish it, to seal it off, and to make it a source of Pesach. So we talked about in the Mishnah whether or not you have to have a kaira lechi to finish off a source of Pesach. So that's how that Rabbanan rule. Kaira Shamra, Kaira, and this halacha gimel, we just spoke. Rachva kedei lekabel ariach, that are wide enough to hold a half a brick. Hariach chatzi levena shel shloisha tvachim, and half a brick is half of 3 tvachim. So Daya l'kaira shtehei rachva tefach, and it's sufficient for the kaira to be a tefach wide. Kedei lekabel arich la'arkai, in order to hold half a brick lengthwise. Zok the Gemara, Amar Rabba, Rabba says, Kedei lekabel of daima yishel reichin le'arkai, in order to hold half a brick's lengthwise. Tani, we learned in a brisa, that he says, Kedei lekabel of daima yishel archin le'reichva, in order to hold half a row, half a bricks when it's widthwise. That's how thick it has to be. So Ma'binayin, what's the difference between the two different shitas? Amar Rav Shayin says that Bria is b'neihem, that really it's how strong it is. Al daitehen, Drabanan, Rasira, and Arkin. According to the opinion of the Rabbanan, so we say 20 half bricks. Al daitan, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Rabban Arkin. According to Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, he says 40 half bricks. So that's how strong it's going to be. Because if they have 40 half bricks, obviously it has to be a lot stronger. They're only holding 20 half bricks. So again, we don't have to have the half bricks there, but it has to be substantial enough to look like it can hold those bricks. Shtei kairos, when you have 2 parallel beams, b'zai chatzi tefach or b'zai v'chatzi tefach, and each one is a half wide. Kama yehei b'nein, how much is between them? Rabbi Zera says, chatzi tefach, only half a tefach. Ma bein chatzi tefach, mikan b'chatzi tefach kan, just like a half a tefach on this one, half a tefach on that one, b'chatzi tefach be'emtza, and a half a tefach in the middle, and that holds your bricks lengthwise. Tani Reb Haishir, Rabbi Shito, tefach, no, it has to be real tefach. Shtei kairos, you have 2 beams. Bezu shloisha v'chol shehu b'zeh shlish v'chol shehu. This one is a third and a little bit. This one is a third and a little bit. V'neihem pachos shlish, and this one is a little bit less than a third. Yeven kaye demai Rabbi Yechanan, who will come out and according to Rabbi Yechanan, the oimeid v'chol matzarfin ba'arba, that standing bakes on a pit, and the space between, combine them with a 4 tvachim to create a private domain. That'll be enough to create. They were just a yachid. I made Rabba al Hachalil, as long as the standing bank is greater than the space of the pit in the middle. So therefore, in our case as well, as long as the width of the beams is greater than the space in between, then the beams of the space can combine and the width toward the required tefach. And here, in the case of our Gemara, the kaira is valid when it's like that, as long as it combines to make that amount. Kaira shehi yaitzas mekaisel zeh. A kaira projects from one wall, the eno noigas mekaisel sheni, but it does not reach a second wall. Oy shehoyu shtayim zu keneged zu, or there are 2 short ones that eat opposite each other. The im yesh bein zay l'zeh shlosh tvachim. If it's between both them less than 3 tvachim, tzar kaira. So then it requires a kaira. The im lav, if not, ain't tzar kaira. They're not any kairas. In other words, if they are protruding less than 3 tvachim, they need a kaira. But if they're protruding more than 3 tvachim, they do not need a kaira. Is Tani Arba. So there's a Tana taught that it has to be the 4 tvachim. Man demar shlosh. The one that says 3, kedei aviras adam, enough for a person to pass through it. Man the Amar Arba, the one that says 4, Kedei Makam, that's enough for a substantial place. So 3 is enough for a person to pass under it, and 4 is a substantial. It's a substantial tefach. It's a greater of the measurements, and therefore he's trying to be makam and say they need at least the greater of the measurements. Kaira sharoisha echad l'mayla me'esra ama, a kaira that at one end is above 20 amis, so it's crooked, and the other end is less than 20 amis. Ryan, if we assess, if it was cut off within 3 tvachim, then the kaira would then be properly within the 20 amis, and it's mutter is permitted. But if not, then it is not permitted. Kaira sharoisha echad the maila me'esrim tvachim, a kaira where the one end is above 10 tvachim, Roisha echad lamatam esara tvachim, and the other end is below 10 tvachim. So Roya, so we have to assess it. Yoga b'sak shleisha within 3 tvachim. Then vihi nira slamayla esra tvachim, and the rest of the kaira will be properly apportioned between tvachim. What would be water? But if not, then asr. Then it will be asr. If the kaira is lower than 10 tvachim, this is more than 3 tvachim, then it's too low. Same thing with when it's too high, and it's more than 3 tvachim, then it's too high, and this one is going to be too low. Shtei kairos l'mayla v'zeh. 2 kairos, 2 cross beams were placed one above the other. Rabbi Yisir, Rabbi Yehuda Aimer, that Ryan es ha tachtoina ki'ilu hi l'maylan, that if you the lower one is if it's the higher of Elyona kedei hi l'mata, the upper one is if it's lower. Provided that the upper one is not higher than 20 amas, and the lower is not below 10 tvachim. Ashkach Tani Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yoda Beshitas Aviv, and it emerges that this brisa teaches that Rabbi Yosef, the son of Rabbi Yuda, in the view of his father, the Chaluk Alav, but he's used to his father. Because Beshitas Aviv do you American of his father, he says, Ryanes Hatachtoina Ki'ilu Himaila, we view the lower beam as if it's higher up, and the higher one is if it's lower. The Chaluk Alav do Amran when he using his father. As far as the upper one is not 20 amas, and the lower one is not lower than 10 tvachim, the minimum share. So ein temar b'shitas aviv. So now if you say that he concurs with the view of his father, I feel even if it was above that, it would have been good. Rabbi Yosef Chanina bar Shalemya. Rabbi Yosef said the name of Chanina, the son of Shalemya. Rabbi Yuda and Chanina bar Shalemya b'shem Rav, and Rabbi Yuda said the name of Chanina bar Shalemya in the name of Rav. This one, the upper beam, is within 3 tvachim of the lower one, and it's within 3 tvachim of the lower one. Then they combine, and they can be half the difference of each other, and they can be in the middle as long as they are the right share. Zakt halacha dalid rachava. L'kabel ariach. If it's wide enough, the pegs that are sticking out, the car is sticking out, wide enough to hold a half a brick. Ubri l'kabel aricha, and strong enough to hold a half a brick. Rabbi Yehuda says, Rachva afal pi she'enai bria, that it's wide enough even if it's not strong enough. As long as it's wide enough, it's not strong enough. Rachva kabel ariach, so it's wide enough to hold a half a brick. So Tani, we learned in the brisa, Rabbi Shimon says, Bria afapi she'ena rachva, strong enough even though it's not wide enough. Rav Huna b'shem Rav, Rav Huna said the name Rav, halach Rabbi Meir. Those go to Rabbi Meir. Shmuel says, halach Rabbi Yehuda, Rachel like Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yeshua, Ben Levi Aimer, he says, halach Rabbi Shimon, halach is like Rabbi Shimon. Amar Rabbi Shimon bar Kasana, he says, Tamar halacha k'dehein, halacha k'dehein. Since we stated that halacha is like this one, halacha is like that one, so man the avad hachin law chashash man the avad hachin law chashash. What do acts according to this one? And the 3 views need not be concerned with any of them because we have a halacha like all 3 views. Since we have a halacha like all 3 views, either it's wide enough and strong enough, or strong enough but not wide enough, or it's wide enough but not strong enough. As long as he holds one of these 3 views, so that's fine because halacha is like one of those 3 views according to somebody. Amar Ramana says Micheva and the Itmar halacha Rabbanan. Since we stated halacha Rabbanan, that Shuvakin Liachdun Va'avid Kirabanan. If we leave aside any individuals, we have to go according to Rabbanan. We can't go according to individuals. Rav Azal Lachad Aser. So Rav went to a certain place that Chamachad Mavoy Shoshu B'Lechayi, and he saw that a Mavoy has been permitted through a very thin board. So Yehei La B'Chutra V'Afya. So he hit it with a cane and he toppled it and demonstrated it was not strong enough. And we'll continue to see what that Gemara is talking about next daf.